Solo Promoter Podcast, the show that is one guy talking about tabletop pro wrestling and fighting games, including Filsinger Games, Legends of Wrestling, Champions of the Galaxy, Go Fight Pal, and more. Welcome to the show. My name is Grandpa Choco, and this is episode number 100. That's right, we did it, everybody. 100 episodes. They said it couldn't be done, and they probably hoped that it wouldn't, but here we are. Before we get going, I want to thank the members of the Golden Circle. These are the channel members over at solopromoter.com who support this show and the other content over at solopromoter.com. Let me tell you something, friends. If it weren't for them, this show would not be happening. So big thank you to all the Golden Circle channel members. If you would like to join the Golden Circle and see behind-the-scenes videos, especially behind-the-scenes videos of this recording of this 100th episode, then head on over to solopromoter.com on your desktop computer and click where it says join. Well, let's get into some updates. This is probably not going to be a huge long episode. I have an interview coming up. And so we're going to leave the bulk of the episode to the interview. But I just want to talk about what's been going on my tabletop. I did play a couple rounds of Face to the Mat from Play Games. You can find those over at solopromoter.com. Fun game. I tried to throw myself into it a little bit more. I will say this. I have tried other wrestling games, and sometimes they really catch me, and sometimes they do not catch me. And for example, I'm not knocking on this game, but a lot of people talk about the game Book It. I was one of the first Kickstarter backers for Book It. I got the first edition. I played it. It was not my thing. And so I think I sold those game editions. And I know they just had a big edition come out recently. I did not partake in that just because it was not my thing. Face to the Mat is interesting because when I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, this is okay. This is not. So I think it's kind of got to be like Squared Circle, where you kind of got to work it to what you want it to be. So, Steve Tower of After Further Review told me that when he plays, he doesn't really bother with the hotbox ally and the hotbox foe and friend and all that kind of stuff at the top. He just concentrates on the matches. And so that's kind of what I've been focusing on. I mean, people still do have allies and things like that, but I think with a lot of these games, you kind of have to mold it to what you think it would be. I think Pop's Reviews did a great video about this in terms of the Squared Circle. You just have to find the way to play it that makes sense to you. That's basically what I'm saying. Anyway, I played Face to the Mat. It was fun. I like the little history that I'm building up at it, and it will come back on the table again. Hey, Go Fight Pow Day is coming up on the 15th, February 15th. So I'll be there. Don't miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun. You want to check out the Go Fight Pow Facebook page or just the Go Fight Pow message boards or the Discord for info on Go Fight Pow Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Although, if you're not, at the time you're hearing this, if you have not ordered your Go Fight Pow Day packs, you're still welcome to come. You just might not have any packs to play with. But anyway, go check that out. I'll have links to that in the show notes. Currently, in Filsinger Games World, I'm playing my Champions of the Galaxy Fed. I am playing my yearly Reckoning ranking gauntlets. I am halfway through. I finished the Women's Gauntlet, and I finished the Interplanetary Gauntlet. And there were some fun results. I really love the ranking gauntlet. And just really briefly, what that is I rank all my wrestlers. The two bottom ranked fight each other. The winner fights the next person up. The winner of that match fights the next person up, going up the ranking. And then at the very end of the night, you have a championship match. And kind of the fun thing about this is seeing the sort of streaks and seeing who can get on a streak and win a bunch of matches in a row. And so it's been a lot of fun, and there's been some surprises so far this year. You can see the results to that over at gwfpromoter.com, and the playthrough videos are available now to Golden Circle channel members, but will be coming out in the weeks ahead for everybody else. I did attend the Filsinger Games Perennial. It was a lot of fun. I thought Chad Olson did a great job with the Nikita Koloff interview. I want to thank Chad for telling my elevator story with Nikita Koloff. from when I was like 10 years old. Yeah, I hadn't yet turned 11. I was 10 years old. And I got into an elevator with Nikita Koloff, and I just found him terrifying. But so anyway, that was super fun. I played in several of the tournaments. I didn't do too well. I was Mayhem in the Groundhog Day tournament. One of the Mayhem. I'm trying to think of what the plural of Mayhems. Because we got wolves, and then we got Mayhems. I was one of the Mayhems. I was Bruiser Brody, and I was in the Classics tournament. I think I was Blood. I didn't do too well, but it was super fun to play. Picked up a few things in the auction, and was probably going to pick up a little bit more, but I always get nervous that people think that I'm a jerk if I bid on something. So I kind of hold back. I'll bid on things, but then I go, oh, if I really push this, people are going to hate me. So I'm not going to bid anymore on this. So I'll just sit out. But still, I picked up a few things and was very, very happy to do so. I'm super excited for that King Kong Bundy #1 card. Just very, very excited for that to happen. I was excited about the new releases that are coming up, sort of in the spring quarter. Very excited that COTG Prime will continue with updating characters from the main storyline. I think that is an amazing use of COTG Prime, so I'm very excited about that. They keep promoting Legends Prime as being one of the biggest ever, so I'm excited to get Ric Flair in Legends Promoter Prime. I'm kidding. But I'm excited to see who those are because the hype has been unreal. I'm excited for early classics. I have been entering in my long GWF history into FG Assistant, and I've started way back in the classics, and in my classics fed, I'm entering everything in, and I'm super excited. I just love the art of that 74-75 set. The art in the 2076 set is good. There's some good pieces in there, but man, oh man, Banks did such an incredible job on that 74-75 set. And when you put those digital pictures into FG Assistant, like they just look so good on the screen. The artwork is just amazing. So what I'm hoping is that they did announce at the Perennial that 2077 is coming out this year. And I'm not 100% familiar with, I don't remember like who comes in, who leaves, but people were saying how there's only like 2 characters or 3 characters that come in during 2077. If that's the case, I'm really hoping that Daryl Banks does the art. I think it would be amazing if Daryl Banks did the art. Nothing against the art from 2076. I understand you can't use Daryl Banks for every single thing, but man, the art for that 2074, 2075 set is just incredible. And I would love to see more Banks art in the line. That is about it. I don't have much else to talk about, and we do need to leave time for the big portion of this. We have a very, very special interview coming up. And in fact, let's just go to it now. Here on the Solo Promoter Podcast, I love to interview other Filsinger Games promoters. And I thought for the 100th episode, it would be really amazing to have somebody special, a promoter who was sort of pivotal to the game. And I think I have found someone. And would you please welcome to the Solo Promoter Podcast, my new friend, David Smith. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Grant. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to talk to you and to talk to all the fans.
Now, this is an incredible story. When I first heard it, I was like, wait, what? You are self-proclaimed as the very first Champions of the Galaxy promoter.
Well, I mean, it's not self-proclaimed. It's the truth, I lived right next door to Tom Filsinger when he was inventing the game.
Hold on a second. You lived right next door to Tom while he was inventing the game?
I did. I lived right next door to him. And, I was friends with him before he started inventing the game. And, we would just chat. I would see him, heading off for work or whatever. I was like, hey, what's up, Tom? And then one day I was just asking him what he was working on. I was like, what's going on? What are you working on? And he told me about this game that he's creating. And I was like, well, what is this game? And he said, it's a wrestling game. And oh man, I was so into wrestling at the time. Wrestling was just, it was just my thing. And I was like, Tom, you got to let me try this game. You got to let me try the game.
So you were there when he was developing the game. And when you asked him to try the game, what did he say?
Well, he told me that he was, getting it printed up. He was working with some guy, Chuck, I think is his name, on the artwork. And like, he would show me the artwork, of like the designs of the characters. And I'd be like, yeah, that's awesome, man. That character, or, that character, I'm not sure. They could probably be tweaked a little bit. But anyway, it was very cool because I was there at the beginning, and I remember the day when Tom left, and like I was sitting out, in front of my door, and Tom was leaving, and I said, hey, Tom, where are you going? And he said, today's the day. I'm going to pick them up from the printers. They're going to be done. And I was like, I'm going to stay right here. I'm not going to move. I'm going to wait till you come back, and I want to get a copy of the game. And it was very cool because he said, yeah, okay, that's cool.
Well, that is a truly amazing story. So you're telling me out of the first 500 sets,
I have set number one. I do. I have set number one. He came home. He already had put them into envelopes, and like I was like, "Oh, you want me to help you? Open the door because it was a big box." And he goes, "Here you go. Because you've supported me." You know who Tom is. Tom is like, he's so nice. He's so cool. He's all here because you supported me. I'm going to give you, Game Edition 1. So I have Game Edition 1 right now.
Well, first of all, let me just say you're sitting on a gold mine because I know lots of people, myself included, who would pay top dollar for Game Edition, and especially Game Edition number 1. That's crazy. Second of all, it's amazing that you still have it after all of these years.
It's an amazing game, It's an amazing game. Let me tell you, I went inside, I started playing it right then, and I have been playing the game every day since. Like, I have done, I don't know, I don't put it into numbers because for the first couple of years, I didn't really keep track like on paper or anything, but I've done several tens of thousands of matches.
Tens of thousands of matches. That is a pretty bold claim. So you just started playing right then. Can you walk us through like who your first champion was?
Totally. All right. So my first champion, probably a little cliche, Star Warrior. I held a tournament and Star Warrior won. He beat Mutant in the finals. I don't know. Mutant, everybody else kept getting disqualified, and so Mutant went to the finals on that side of the bracket, and then, it was Star Warrior at the other side of the bracket, and Star Warrior won, so he became my first champ, and then the Gladiators, Brute and Massacre, they were my first tag champs, and I tell you, from that first day, I would say by midnight that night, like Tom got back from the printer, I would say like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And by midnight that night, man, I'll tell you, I had played like at least 50 matches. I was hooked. And I played all night. And when I heard Tom's door the next morning, like it kind of woke, I was like, oh, I got to go tell him it's great. And I went out, I was like, Tom, this game is going to be a hit. And I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for what this game is going to do because this game is a hit.
Well, that is an incredible story. And how amazing that you played the first set. Well, and you said that you've been playing ever since. I would love to know, like, as the years rolled on, like, who were some of your favorite characters that, that came along from Champions of the Galaxy because you were there at the start?
Well, as I said, Star Warrior was my first champ. I didn't really like Star Warrior. You know, I love Lord Nexus. Lord Nexus was awesome, man. And he still is. Like Lord Nexus, you know, he's great. He's one of the legends in my Fed, and you know, he's still out there going strong, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean he's a great manager now in Myth Worlds, and I assume you must love that wrestling card that came out recently, where he had wrestling stats.
I don't know, what do you mean? Lord Nexus has always had wrestling stats, man.
No, I just mean that now he was a manager for a while, and then now he's a wrestler.
Dude, I don't know. What are you talking about, man? He's always been a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's born and he's a Titan, man. The Titans are born and bred to wrestle, and he still wrestles. So that's why he's still my favorite.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to imply otherwise. But who are some of your favorite characters? Like, here's what I would love to know. As somebody who played the game when it came out, what did you think when Chaos debuted? Because Chaos was like the big one that debuted, in those early editions that people still talk about.
Dude, do you even play Champions of the Galaxy?
Of course I play Champions of the Galaxy. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Who's Chaos? There's no card for Chaos. There's only 24 cards, dude, and Chaos isn't one of them.
No, but I mean, in the original set, you're right. There were 24 cards, but, you know, as the years progressed, that first year was 2087, and then, you know, there were other years as well, and Chaos, you know, came in the 2090s.
What are you talking about? Do you like even... Are you talking about Champions of the Galaxy from Phil Singer Games? Is that the game you're talking about?
Yeah, that's why I have you on. This is a whole podcast dedicated to the games of Phil Singer Games, and Champions of the Galaxy is one of them.
But why are you talking about Chaos, man? I don't know who this Chaos is. He's not one of the 24, dude.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're talking about the original 24. You know that other game editions came out after the initial game edition, right?
What are you talking about, dude?
Well, I mean, Tom released other game editions. Like that first game edition is like, what, 2087? And then there was 2080. There was Invasion and Invasion 2, but then he started numbering them for years.
No, there's only been one set, dude. He gave it to me. I have number 1 of Champions of the Galaxy.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You have been playing all this time with just the original game edition. Is that what just the original 24? Those are the only wrestlers you've been using this entire time?
Dude, that's the only wrestlers that there are. There's no other wrestlers than the original 24. You know, I'm talking about like the Greek Gods, you know, and Pit Viper, you know, and Executioner, like those guys, man. That's the original set.
Okay. David, let me tell you that there have been other game editions, and Tom has continued putting out new game editions after that first one because the first one was such a hit.
I know it was a hit. That's what I told him. But there were no other game editions. You know what I mean? Like, I would always, every morning after I started playing, like I would go out, and as Tom was leaving, I'd be like, hey, here's my current, what's going on in my Fed, man. Here's what's happening. And, he was like, he would always go, and then he would go to his car. But, he never told me nothing about other sets.
Yeah, well, there have been other sets. There's been many sets. There's been federations that have branched off and gone to different multiverses and all this different kinds of stuff. There have been a lot more sets than just that first one.
I don't believe you. I don't know why you're lying about this. Is this like a joke or something? Like you're trying to, pull a prank on me or something?
I'm not trying to pull a prank on you.
Did you say plank? You're trying to pull a plank on me?
I'm not trying to pull a prank on you. I am telling you that there have been other game additions.
You're telling me that there's more than just 24 cards. Star Warrior, Thanos, Lord Nexus.
There's lots more cards. There's lots and lots and lots more cards. There's many, many, many cards. You are behind, my friend. But wait, you have been playing just with these same 24 cards for this long?
Yeah, well, it's the game, dude. What am I supposed to do? Those are the cards he gave me, so that's what I'm playing with.
Well, then you need to get yourself over to philsingergames.com, and that is really going to open your eyes.
What is philsingergames.com?
It's the website for Phil Singer Games.
What's a website?
All right, hang up on him. Hang up on him. I'm done. That's it. I'm done. No more of this foolishness. One game edition. Well, that went about as well as could be expected. If you have a topic you'd like the show to cover, please leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe or follow wherever you are listening or watching this. You can check out my personal Phil Singer Games feds over at gwfpromoter.com and lowpromoter.com. The theme song for this show is American Guide by Throwing Toasters, used by permission and available on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your music. This podcast is not affiliated in any way with any gaming company or their subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2024 Saturday Morning Media Grant Pachoco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com